3. The Kirkham Bum Blaster. Alice visited the little clay pot every morning before breakfast to give it a little water, hoping to see the seed begin to grow, but for weeks nothing happened.
"Oh, come on, plant, please grow," implored Alice.
Another week passed, and still no sign of a plant.
"I don't think it's germinated. The seed might have rotted," said Mum, looking at the empty pot. "If it doesn't grow soon, we might just have to throw it away." "Oh, please don't throw it away. I'm sure it's not rotten. I'm sure it will grow," begged Alice. She desperately wanted the little plant to appear, because she knew Mum wouldn't let her keep an empty pot on the side for too much longer. That night before bed, she visited the little pot on the kitchen window. "Oh, little super seed, I do wish you would grow. I know you can grow up to be a super plant." The very next morning, Alice came down to check on the little clay pot and give it a drink of water. To her surprise, instead of an empty pot, a tender green shoot had appeared in the middle of the dark compost. "Mum, Dad, Grandad, Grandma, look! It's started to grow!" The Applebys gathered around the little clay pot to marvel at the green shoot that had appeared.
"You'll have to give him a name," said Grandad.
"I'll call him Alfred," said Alice. And so the little chili plant was named Alfred. Alice noted down the name in the little notebook. As the weeks passed, Alfred the chili plant grew and grew. Leaves soon appeared, and Alfred occupied almost the whole of the kitchen window. One morning, Alice came to give Alfred his daily water, when to her surprise, she noticed little red and purple flowers had appeared. "Aren't they wonderful?" said Alice. "Look, there are 8 in total." "They're fantastic," said Mum, "and what a lovely smell. Why anyone would ever call them bum blasters, I don't know." Another couple of weeks passed, and the petals from the 8 flowers curled up. In their place, little green chilies had started to grow. "Mum, Dad, look! It's growing chilies!" "Oh, how wonderful!" said Mum. "Do you think the chilies will be ready soon?" "Auntie Kimberly said they'll be ready just before Christmas," said Mum. All but one of the 8 green chilies grew a little bit bigger each day. Alice knew because she had started to measure them with Dad's tape measure and note the exact measurements in the little notebook. The one chili that didn't grow much, if at all, sat at the very top of Alfred. It had begun to shrivel in on itself. "That one must be a little bit poorly," said Alice to Mum. "Well, you have 7 other fine chilies growing, and look at that one at the bottom. It's going to be huge," said Mum. "That's the super chili. I think it's extra special," said Alice with a smile. "Is it really? I don't know what we're going to do with them when they're fully grown. I suppose we could cook them up for dinner one night. I know a great recipe for chili con carne," said Mum. "No, Mum, they're special. We've got to wait for Auntie Kimberly. She said you send me a letter with instructions nearer Christmas," said Alice. "Well, let's hope Auntie Kimberly doesn't get lost in the jungle," said Mum with a laugh. Alice knew Auntie Kimberly wouldn't get lost in the jungle. She just had to keep a close eye on Alfred and make sure the chilies kept growing. Later that day, Grandad was sitting in the living room watching TV when an advert popped up that caught his attention. "Look, Alice, come quick!" he cried, pointing excitedly at the TV. Alice ran as fast as she could into the living room, but she was just too late. The advert had ended. "Too late, you missed it," said Grandad. "What did I miss?" asked Alice. "It was an advert for a new amusement park." "What's an amusement park?" asked Alice. "It's a place that has lots of fun things to do. There are roller coasters and rides of all sorts, and in the very middle there's a big castle," said Grandad. "That sounds fun. I've always wanted to see a castle," said Alice. "Well, this amusement park is called Wonderland Paris. If you're lucky, your mum and dad might take you," said Grandad. "Oh, I do hope I'm lucky," said Alice. "You'll have to wait and see," said Dad, popping his head around the living room door. "Paris is quite a long way away. But if you're a good girl,
Then maybe your mum and I will take you."
"Well, I am good, and I'd love to go,"
said Alice, with a big grin. She knew Dad was more than likely already planning to take her there. Alice thought Wonderland sounded great. Who wouldn't want to go on an adventure to Paris, riding on roller coasters and seeing a castle? She decided to note down Wonderland in her little notebook as a place she'd like to visit one day.